I'm Edward Warfield. I'm the publisher of Citybiz, and I'm honored today to interview Jason McCann, the CEO and founder of Vari. Welcome, Jason.
Oh, thanks for having me. Look forward to the conversation.
Let's start at your childhood. You spent a little time working at your mother's hair salon. Let's spend a little time on that, and then let's scale quickly to your other entrepreneurial experiences prior to starting VariDesk in 2013.
Yeah, growing up in the 70s, it was an honor to the first CEO I knew was my mom, and she owned a hair salon in Galveston. And I had the pleasure at 10, 11, 12 years old to go in there and sweep the floors and then come home at night and sit around the dinner table and talk about business and hiring talent, recruiting talent, opening that second hair salon. And it was just a great experience as a child to see a woman lead an organization and understand that is a key component of a foundation for me. And so that was an awesome thing. And two, to see that entrepreneurialism and hiring people and building a great business created a great foundation to grow up as a child.
And so tell us some of your entrepreneurial experiences prior to starting VariDesk.
Yeah, so, growing up in Galveston, I opened up a beach chair and umbrella company because I thought that was sort of the way to make money with the tourists. So in the summers, I would do that. Studied hotel and restaurant management at the University of Houston. I thought the hospitality industry had a calling for me, and I partnered up with a couple of gentlemen that owned the restaurant Yaga's, and we actually opened up a restaurant and nightclub for a few years. I did that, realized that was not my calling. Went back, got my MBA, and ended up randomly in the toy industry during the POG craze of the early 90s. Got into the .com business, doing Christmas and Halloween product in 1999, kind of early .com days. Unfortunately, went boom and bust during the .com business because I built an unprofitable business like so many entrepreneurs. But they kind of led me into consumer products, a passion for it, and that led us to building what is, I believe, the greatest company I've ever been exposed to here at Vari.
And so let's start a little bit about the origin. Your business partner had some sciatic nerve pain, and that was, was a catalyst for you starting the company. Tell us about that incident and the decision to start this company.
Yeah, my partner Dan Flaherty had founded a company called Gemmy Industries, and Dan and I had worked together. We went bust together during the .com business, and we started working together at Gemmy, and we created those inflatables you see on people's yards for Halloween and Christmas, the singing big mouth Billy Bass fish. I was president of Dan's company, and Dan was the founder, and I would go into his office, and he was standing there at a cardboard box one day, this would be back in 2008, and was basically having back pain. And he said, I just feel better when I stand up. So I talked to my doctor, and she told me just to stand up more if that was a solution. And so we started looking online, and he was looking for a sit-stand desk and couldn't find one. And so it was either it took weeks to get something, or he'd have to attach these crazy contraptions to his desks, or full desks would show up. It cost thousands of dollars. And Dan's a product person, and so he said, I've got a better idea for a product. So I grabbed our industrial designer, David Patton, and the three of us sat around Dan's desk, and he described what became the first VariDesk. Could it slide out of a box? Could I easily grab the handles and just stand up when I want to and sit down when I want to? And it became the idea for the product. David drew, Dan described, and I got to watch us give birth to this amazing product idea. And it was incredible as we started to build the prototypes. We started to realize we were onto something, a little rickety, a little wobbly, but it was a beautiful idea. Dan felt better when he stood up more. And so we started to show it to people. So we showed it to great companies here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area like Verizon and the Container Store, and they wanted to buy it from us. And we said, okay, how much does it cost to make? How are we going to sell this thing? And we started to say, okay, we joked that we would never do another .com business together again after going bust, but we said, let's turn on a website, let's start selling our product direct, and let's see if we can't really create something out there that could be incredible. The fans started to respond, the product started to grow, and it's been an amazing journey.
So let's talk about, you started that's 2013. Can you give us some of the key milestones since 2013 up to last year?
Oh, yeah. So, we go back to that original, we had a product idea, and so we started there. And what we started to realize is people liked it a lot. And so we started to sell them over and over and over again. And we were incubating inside of Gemmy. And so we spun off the company in 2013 and realized that Vari had an opportunity to really be something incredible. We started to sell more and more products. And suddenly we were shipping out not only 3 or 4 orders a day, which we thought was incredible. we started shipping out hundreds of orders a day and realized that this company was growing very, very fast. Some of the crazy things are we had no employees back when we started. It was just kind of us and working on it as a sidecar opportunity to just a couple of us early. Today, I've got over 350 employees. In 2017, we were voted Entrepreneurs of the Year for by EY, which was an incredible honor. We've been the fastest growing company in Dallas-Fort Worth. To go from no employees to 350 to have over 3 million people in 120 different countries use our product. We operate 24 hours a day here in Coppell, so we're right in the heart of Dallas-Fort Worth, but we operate a global business with 9 distribution centers globally, shipping out product to 30 different countries on a daily basis. And the product today is featured in 98% of the Fortune 500. And what started off as that single desk on top of desk is now involved into more products, into about 300 products that we have, including workspace. So the walls behind me actually move. We have a soft seating line. We're one of the largest sellers of full sit-stand electric desks. We also have standing conference tables. What it's allowed us to do by having this direct relationship with the end user is start to expand in thinking about the workspace. We started on our journey to create happier, healthier, more productive workspaces. But we realized at the end of the day, we're creating workspaces that elevate people. And could we create spaces that move and ebb and flow like a business does, but walls that move and spaces that move that could be much more organic? And that's allowed us to expand our product offering and serve millions of customers and thousands of great organizations all throughout the U.S., North America, Australia, and a bunch of other countries.
And it sounds like you've really iterated the business to, I was reading about space as a service company. What does that mean? And where are those divisions located?
Our journey just you think about growing a business, you want to have that relationship with your customer and taking care of them. What we realized is we suddenly had this conduit in listening to our customers and the pain points that they were suffering about getting into a space. Initially it was Dan's back pain, and then they were talking about, I need to hire more people, my furniture is inflexible. And so it allowed us to expand. But in listening to customers, what we realized is we could provide a service for them. So we started offering space planning services and workplace strategy discussions. So they were talking about us, about growing their business, and we started to elevate what we could do. So we said, I can design your space for you. I can create all these amazing products. Then I can come in and move the walls, set up the furniture for you. But if your business needs change, then I can change as well with you. We also started to work with building owners who were looking for ways to transform entire spaces, because they had a lot of high growth companies and great CEOs that were coming and said, I need my space now. Could it be ready? So we started selling furniture to building owners. And then we said, we need to learn even more. We love to learn. So we do tours here at our headquarters all the time. We said, what if we bought buildings? And so we bought our first building, and we now have our second, and we're building our third. But we took an old building that was empty for 5 years, invested tens of millions of dollars, and we now lease it out fully furnished, all with Vari furniture under the VariSpace brand. So clients are able to come into the space, lease it fully furnished, and then we can come in and provide space as a service where, as their business needs change, we can actually help transform the space. And that's been a great thing for us to learn. So we did that, our first location in the Las Colinas, Irving area of Dallas. We bought our second building, VariSpace South Lake, in South Lake, Texas, again, about 10 or 15 minutes from the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And we're now building VariSpace Coppell, which will be our third location, and Vari will become a client in there, and we'll lease it out to other companies. But we recognize that at the end of the day, people want shorter-term leases, flexible spaces that evolve with their business needs, and that's allowed us to continue to grow.
So that sounds like it could possibly be a separate company, a REIT possibly.
Yeah, I think long term it could be something fantastic. I look at it by taking care of the customer and growing with them, you're able to transform your business and learn a lot. And so the beauty of us hosting tours, and we get clients, even now as the restrictions for COVID have unwound, clients will tour from all over the world to come see us because they're thinking about the business and how do we get back to work and those things. By having VariSpace locations or working with other amazing asset owners out there, we can transform spaces. And really what you're doing is serving the customer. and what they need. And I think at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur, it's about taking care of your customers and growing. So yeah, that business model is great. It also allows us to tour and sell furniture because again, we don't own enough buildings out there to have a whole bunch of these yet. But we can also work with building owners. We can work with high growth companies. And so it's been great. So we have tenants like Verizon and Microsoft that lease space from us. And we will also have great startups and publicly traded companies like RumbleOn and Akili. And so it's been incredible. Solo Stove, so some other great organizations that we're able to work with.
So in February of 2020, the world was about to change and Veridesk was about to change. You were in the midst of a rebrand. So yeah, you changed your name. Can you tell us about the reason? Talk a little bit about the execution and what was the impact of COVID-19 on the rebrand?
Yeah, we started with that single product, and at the time we had the Veridesk, and that's what we were. We were an item, and what happened was, our product offering began to expand. What we realized is we're becoming more than a desk company. So we had electric standing desks, but then we had soft seating and standing conference tables and LED lighting and sound masking and walls that could move. And as people started to tour our headquarters, they said, I want this. And what they were looking around and describing was the energy of the space. And that's what we realize is by transforming workspaces and creating an active, healthy environment, you're transforming cultures and you're elevating people. Health, wellness matter. How do we have rooms that we create with our walls that are Zen rooms to recharge on-site fitness centers. So the people said, why are you Veridesk? Why the word desk? You're much bigger than a desk. So we were at a dilemma there, and we had already invested tens of millions of dollars in our brands. 3 million people use our product. When we did surveys out there, everybody knew the Veridesk. And we said, but we're much bigger than that. So we worked with Landor, which is an incredible organization that took Federal Express to FedEx, for those of you that remember Federal Express. And we went through a process with them, and we explored other names. And we said, could we transform our brand and simplify it to Vari? And when we reached out to our current fan base and did research, they said, absolutely. We reached out to people that we wanted to do business with that may not have heard us. They said, oh, I believe you're in flexibility. I believe in change. I believe you could be in technology. I believe you could be in workspace under the Vari brand. So we invested millions of dollars, went after it, and started to really transform our business and simplify, dropping the word desk. But when we did the logo, it was fun to do the new Vari logo that you see. We put a little square above the eye to give odes to the original box idea to where we all started.
And so what were some of the lessons on the rebranding? If looking in the rearview mirror, what did you learn?
Yeah, so one thing was to lean on a partner that could help you go through this process. To just change your name is a very challenging thing, especially if you've got so many customers out there. So finding the right partners to help you. I think also then leveraging research to talk to your current fans so that you don't alienate them, as well as new people that you want to do business with. You want to test it. You want to learn and just listen to your customers and make sure. The other thing is we kept it a secret. So we said, okay, we don't want to leak this out. We want to work out all this messaging. And as we're coming up with this, we want to keep it as private as possible before we announce it to the world. And then when you're ready to announce it, we needed it took us an 18-month process to go through and double check our packaging, our website changes, all the legal changes. We wanted to make sure that we could protect the .com and the trademarks globally. So we went through the legal steps to prepare for it. And so it's an incredible opportunity for us to recalibrate, test some things, update our logo, our copy, determine that we had the voice. But all those steps were very important. And then we had a reveal and a launch. And for there, it can take a tremendous amount of capital to go for it. So we invested millions of dollars in a TV campaign. And it was a little bit challenging because when we launched that TV campaign, it was January, February of 2020. We were coming off the highs of 2020 or 2019. I had just hired 50 salespeople and pushed them into markets as we were thinking about expanding the business. And then COVID hits, March 14th. Suddenly overnight, are we going to work from home? What's going to happen? And everybody remembers that moment in March when it happened to them and said, we've got to operate differently. So in the middle of this rebrand campaign and this television campaign that we can deliver your office in less than 28 days, we can design your space, get you set up, boom, everybody's working from home. So as we sat there and we had a skeleton crew here, we were considered an essential business. I was able to reach out to our marketing team and we came up with an idea, said, okay, we've got these TV ads, let's pivot them. We recut it and said, Veridesk is now Vari, and when you're working from home, let us help you. Because we realized our teams were struggling at home. They're sitting on a sofa and a laptop. Like, people need desks, they need the monitor arms, they need our products. Let's help them get ready for work from home, because nobody was ready. I didn't realize how long it was going to last. But then it allowed us to pivot our business, reach out to corporate customers, help them set up programs. So Google and LinkedIn, all these great organizations, that we're able to work with them to help them set up their work from home programs for their employees. It allowed us as a business to survive, number one, and ultimately it's positioned us to have a closer relationship with our customer to thrive as we get through this. And so that's allowed us to have this B2C vertical as well as our B2B business. So those are the learnings. And I think sometimes, I told my team in the midst of that COVID storm, I said, we're going to have to keep rowing until the wind catches our sails. And that became our rallying cry to power through this. But going through these moments like the rebrand pulls team members together, make them a part of that process. When you have these struggles, you can then push into it and accelerate and learn together, lean in on your values and grow your business.
So in 2020, you also entered a number of new cities. Can you tell us which cities you entered and which cities are planned for 2021?
Yeah, so in 2020, we entered Austin, Baltimore, Denver, Houston, Phoenix, Washington, D.C., and as we've expanded, we started to reach out to amazing partners, because we said, okay, so we need to find spaces. And we also need to lean on them to get us ready. So great companies like Cushman & Wakefield and great partners that have been able to help us lease up our Verispace locations got us into all these other cities, because a lot of these cities, we started to hire new regional sales directors and sales team members from the industry, and we needed to network with partners. This year we've entered Atlanta and Tampa, also just entered Nashville. We're about to be in Charlotte and Raleigh-Durham. And so that's allowed us to now put these boots on the ground. Our team members have been incredible to get out there, network with the people, get really closer and closer to the commercial real estate industry, to these high growth companies, to explain what Vari is as we think about flexible workspaces of the solution. It's also been interesting to reach out, and when we transformed our headquarters while everybody was out during COVID, we can have distance space-based design, and we can show it in our showrooms. So when people come by, they can see what it's like to get back, because a lot of parts of the country are still going through, how do we reopen? How do we get our team members back into a workspace? And so that's been a great opportunity for us to learn, to show tours, and a lot of it's also been virtual tours. So people, just like this video we're doing today, will zoom through a space and allow them to show it. Our team members actually came back to work in June of last year, because we started to reach out overseas to figure out what can we do with temperature checks and guidelines that were being used overseas. And we took all those learnings and transformed into these showrooms that are in our spaces in the key cities, as well as our Verispace locations. So we can help organizations when they think about culture, collaboration, communication, these teams safely getting back into the workspaces.
So what is the future of work? Is it remote? Are people working from home? Is it a hybrid? And how is Vari integrating your solution into the future of work?
Yeah, we think it's all around flexibility, that business continues to ebb and flow and change. Society continues to ebb and flow and change. And just like business has never been this beautiful, steady, stable growth thing, business is a grind. It's ups and downs. It's fights. It's wins. It's losses. It's just like being in a team sport. And so we think about workspace like that. So if you picture in your mind almost the way cloud services came and impacted business, we kind of think about workspace being like that. You should be able to plug into a space when your business needs grow and change. Could you have a space that actually moves and change? We don't love a whole bunch of sheetrock in offices. We believe in like our quick flex walls where you can move them. So our teams can come in and move spaces. If you need team rooms and huddle rooms, that those are able to set up. In this COVID world, people are saying, hey, in certain parts of the country, we just need teams to get together every once in a while, or we need dedicated workspace, or they need work from home programs. But I also recognize that's going to continue to change. So today we're doing two designs for many of our clients. So they're saying, hey, how do we safely get back today? Because we've lost some things over this last 12 months with culture, with onboarding, with apprenticing, with teaching the next generation of leaders. How do we do that in a totally Zoom environment? It's been challenging. So are there safe ways to get back? So we create team rooms and huddle rooms and distance space. Well, now that the vaccines are starting to roll out, they asked for this second design to say, well, what if the world goes back to maybe not totally what it was, But in the next normal, where you do have hoteling or hot desking, where you may be in the office 2 or 3 days a week, and you really want something that's as seamless in your home office. So if you've got all the same technology and tools there, so can you set up a work from home program for us? And then are these work from anywhere? So we have items like our portable laptop stand that people carry in their backpack, where they put it out and then they just travel with it because they're on the road a lot. And so I think we're learning and we're continuing to have that direct relationship with these customers so that we can continue to grow the business. A lot of it is also, we've got all this research out there, and I think it's continuing to change, but a lot of people want to be back in the office and a lot of people want some flexibility. So I think that's going to continue to change, and every organization is going to have its own identity or culture. And so servicing those and creating products and workspaces that make sense and getting technology and tools available to them, I think is going to be very, very important.
So let's go back where we started in this interview. Let's talk about your mother. So what lessons did you learn from your mother?
Yeah, I go back, and she taught me the honor of working and taking pride in the job that you do. I also know that my mom woke up, I would use the term broke every day. And so you're starting at zero and you're earning and servicing each client and taking care of them. And so I look at that for some of our core values. When I think about us creating lifelong fans, I recognize that I have an opportunity to work with amazing entrepreneurs, CEOs, our team members have this impact. And so taking lessons like that is we can help them on their entire career journey as they start their own organizations, as they build their own companies, as they think about the workspaces that they're and the cultures and businesses they're trying to build. I think about my mom servicing one client, taking care of one customer, and then growing her fan base. Creating jobs, she said, is an amazing thing to do, but it also comes with a great responsibility. So you want to create an environment where it's a healthy culture. And I think those are little lessons that I learned. Also about hiring great people and surrounding yourself with amazing talent so that you can continue to grow your business. And when something doesn't align with your values, you've got to kind of get them out because you're causing a cancer in the salon. It's really the same business things that you learn in an organization. You want to surround yourself with people with common values, but you also need people that have different perspectives. So we always say that the values we hire to, but the culture is built on top of that. The DNA is people are hired that are brought into our organization. They add to the culture and DNA and the fabric of the organization. So those things that she talked about. She also said, as you think about it, service is not servitude. And so taking care of great people, doing the best job you can, but taking a lot of pride in the work that you do. And I think about the services that we provide. And so whether we're serving our current team members, so you walk into our headquarters, we've got music playing, I've got plants up, which is biophilia to create the energy of a space. We're investing in Vari University and training. We're investing in our team members to continue to grow. And I think about all those little classes that my mom did on how to do hair color and that. We're doing all those things here. We're investing in book clubs, learning, diversity councils, and also serving the community. So our team members each have up to 5 days a year to go out and serve the community. We're able to go out to these nonprofit organizations, donate time, and we've donated over $5 million worth of furniture in the last couple of years to nonprofit organizations where you can come in and they can have incredible spaces too, and they can take the capital that they would have had to deploy into their volunteer program or their nonprofit and put that back into making wishes for kids, donating food to the North Texas Food Bank. Those are the impacts we can make. And I think that becomes part of your legacy as a leader in an organization, as an executive, as a business person. And those are the things that I would say.
Jason, I want to thank you for sharing your time and your vision. And I do tons of interviews, and you're running a company. You really have an enthusiasm that is contagious, and it looks like you're pivoting and iterating with the changing of the times. And we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. We always go by the mantra of innovate or die. And so I hope that we're continuing to serve our fans, grow our fan base, earn it every day. So thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me. I appreciate it.